Does it turn? Oh, it does. It does indeed turn the... That's the ceiling. You gotta... That's it.
There you go. Maybe I don't want to be in it.
Huh?
Maybe I don't want to be in it with this angle because it's like looking right up at me.
Well, it's the angle I normally have, so, you know...
Yeah, but I'm sat over there.
Exactly. It's the angle I normally... There's cars that way. I'm going to use these again. Yeah, so, anyway, we don't really do... Because we don't go out anymore. Because we have no money. So, we don't really do much in the way of driving home reviews anymore. And I think it's the first one where I've been driving for a long time.
A very long time.
Probably since we got together, because you do most of the driving. Because I've always done all the driving all my life, and it's nice to not have to. So tonight is Doctor Who. What was it called? Reality War.
Yes, the reality.
The Reality War.
The definite article.
Yeah, not just a reality war. The reality. This is going to get spoilery because I don't want. There's no point talking about it without being spoilery. First and foremost, very quickly, I don't know if it was on TV, but we had a little trailer for The War Between the Land and the Sea that actually looks really good. And I've got to admit, it looks very tonally different to Doctor Who. It looks very gritty.
It looked a bit Torchwood, but like...
Yeah.
But like Torchwood now rather than like Torchwood the way it was back then, which was quite cheesy.
Yeah, if they made Torchwood now, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the look of it. Yeah, Reality War. I mean, let's be honest. There's more holes in it than Swiss cheese, and
so many holes.
And it was kind of a mess. But
such a mess.
I found it quite enjoyable despite all of these things. Oh, there's an email coming up behind us. I did feel that the resolution to the actual Rani stuff and the Omega and all of that, and can we just say, poor old Ellie's been coming under a hammering on Who Culture for her pronunciation of Omega. Well, they pronounced it 3 different ways in the episode alone. The series itself can't decide how to pronounce it. Ellie, should you ever see this, please don't feel bad, you're off the hook. Because, oh my god, Ncuti Gatwa can't say it the same way twice. I don't think you've got to worry, love. And also, Omega being like a rotting skeleton because he'd been rotting up for all eternity. What?
He became a legend.
Yeah.
And apparently that meant
that means you become a giant dinosaur? What?
I was trying to work out, he reminded me of something, but I can't think what.
I'll tell you what it is, because I thought of it straight away. You know at the end of Gremlins when Stripe jumps out of the fucking pool and he's all melting?
Yeah, it wasn't that though.
Oh, that's the first thing I thought of. I was waiting for like, what?
It might be something from a video game that I'm thinking of.
When he jumps out of the fountain and the sun hits him, and he goes, first thing went through my head. And I was really disappointed, like Archie Punjabi as the Rani was so cool. And also did they really answer as to whether, because that was the world within the Wish, that the actual world existed on the outside? They didn't answer that, did they?
That's one of the holes.
Yeah, so that's a bit like, also like, ever wonder what your TARDIS was? Well, in the middle of a massive explosion last we saw it, but apparently no, that wasn't the thing. Yeah, lots of holes. But you know, switch your head off and just go with it, romp. And again, you know, keeping it back, is something that aimed at 8-year-olds. It was a hoot. I had a great fun. I did have a proper scream when Jodie appeared. That was lovely.
That was very lovely.
I've been saying I was busting to see Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker deliver Russell dialogue. So actually, in that little glimpse, I think we saw a better Jodie than, bless her heart, we saw in most of her actual run. And you kind of, I don't know, it was a bit more like all the things that she brought to the character just kind of came out a little clearer and better. Like that kind of manic energy, but actually still being the most important person in the room. Which I thought, largely because they gave her a million companions in 3 years, I think got lost, and you saw it in that little scene. And then, of course, there's been this rumours for a fortnight that Billie Piper is the 16th Doctor, and I absolutely dismissed it as bollocks. I didn't for a second think there was anything in it. I thought it was just going to end with a regeneration and you don't see what happens. That's what, when you had the whole TARDIS out in space and stuff. Did I get to the end of my Archie Punjabi? I don't get it.
No, you didn't.
You
tangented.
Me? Surely not. Yeah, I just thought she was wasted and pushed aside. Is where I was getting to.
She was literally in one story / 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And technically, obviously, the end of the Eurovision one where she appeared, but that was it.
But then to be sidelined halfway through this one, I mean, it's Doctor Who. They can always bring them back if they want to. They always do. But it just felt a bit like don't really know what to do with her. What? It was like our cats when they decide they want feeding and just start knocking shit off the table.
Mind you, Belinda had a very similar fate in this episode.
Yeah, I understand what they were doing to a degree, but then all the flashbacks that she'd been mentioning Poppy all along, I was a bit like, ow, but why? And why doesn't the Doctor remember? Is that going to be just explained away with the timey-wimey sidestep, or that didn't really track? But then I think just in those brief seconds, there's a real great fun energy that Billy could clearly bring to the Doctor, if it's not just a stunt thing and it doesn't actually bear any weight when if the series comes back. So that was just me on verbal diarrhea for 5 minutes. You got anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad to see Ncuti go.
He didn't have long enough.
He absolutely didn't have long enough. It was what, 16 episodes?
Something like that. Well, and the 2 Christmas specials.
Yeah. It was lovely seeing. I can't remember the character's name. Was it Annie?
Time Hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't remember her. Seeing
her back, or Anita or something like that.
Anita.
Which we should remember, given Anita Dobson. That was a nice surprise. I was genuinely happy to see Jodie back, because she was just so badly served by the writing on her run.
Sorry, Nikki.
And the whole Flux thing was just an incoherent mess. I could actually see this being like the end, or just like they'll have a special or something, because I think we've talked about this, which is like everyone raves about having Russell back, and I think Russell is great for character dialogue writing and having ideas, but is absolutely terrible at kind of pulling them together into a kind of a coherent, internally logical story.
The phrase you've used repeatedly is that he doesn't stick the landing.
Yeah. I mean, he is the Stephen King of telly and Doctor Who, which is ironic given one of the trailers we saw was for a Stephen King adaptation. So
Stephen King has realised he's more talented.
Foreshadowing. But yeah, I think I was disappointed that Russell blatantly had no idea what to do with Belinda for this episode, because it was literally just shove her in a box. She was literally fridged.
I remember, yay for Return of the Zero Room.
Yeah, but it smacked a lot of, kind of tonally, and in terms of when you come out after having watched it and you actually start thinking about it, very much like the whole kind of Sutekh two-parter of but what about this? And, but what does that mean for that? And so I mean, I enjoy as a piece of entertainment. I enjoyed it. As I say, it had a lot of lovely moments. But this is not what I would consider peak Doctor Who storytelling. When I think of things like just the whole David Tennant and Catherine Tate run, there are so many great stories within that. that are kind of internally consistent.
You mean the 2008 run rather than the 3 specials?
I love the 3 specials as well.
Yeah. I'm talking story-wise.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of the series, that to me is peak Doctor Who. And it's not just the kind of chemistry between sort of David and Catherine, who obviously are huge friends in real life, but just the characters, the stories, the kind of where they went with that. Sort of the Midnight is still one of my favourite episodes of all time, just because of the, it's a masterclass in acting between sort of David Tennant and I can never remember the actor's name who plays
Leslie somebody.
Yes, who plays Sky. Yeah, just that whole kind of back and forth between them was phenomenal, and I adore Ncuti and was over the moon to see a openly gay black actor playing the Doctor, and certainly getting a much better treatment than Jodie did as the first kind of female Doctor. But yeah, just
I mean, whatever the truth behind the scenes, let's be honest, the reality of losing Ncuti is they bagged him when his star was starting to rise, and I think had Series 3 been commissioned, as is quite clearly the original plan and discussion, this time last year, he'd still be there.
Yeah.
He can't afford to wait. And fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. Just gutting though. Absolutely gutting.
Yeah.
That we've had his screen time wise. I mean Paul McGann, but realistically, of any kind of proper serving Doctor. Sorry, Paul McGann. You are a proper serving Doctor, but you know what I mean. He's had such a limited run. When I realised the regeneration, because I was also even back in my head going, regeneration won't happen or whatever. And then when it was quite evident, no, the regeneration is happening and it's happening now, I genuinely felt a little lump in my throat. I was like, I'm not ready for him to go. I'm absolutely not ready to see the back of this Doctor. Yeah, I think, do you know what? I think the Billy thing could be a hoot. Absolute hoot. But again, is she just going to get is she's 16 going to be like 14 and it's going to be a few random specials and then off as they sort of kind of fill a gap until we're in a position to actually make a series again or whatever, I don't know.
Which I suppose, given that they've established the Timeless Child thing, is canon, they can do that now because they don't have to worry about the regeneration anymore.
No, exactly, yeah. Also, I thought that was quite, again, for kids, quite a deep concept, the Time Lords of Baron. And also, where the fuck was Susan? So all of the appearing on and the Find Me and all the appearances on the TV.
That's clearly a plot hook either for the next season or a special.
What was that? And it came to nothing. Again, one of the holes. So did I enjoy it? Yes. I sat and I was rolled along with the adventure everywhere. Is it the greatest piece of storytelling? No, it is not. But I don't know. Is that really? I don't know. Is that what you want from Doctor Who? You should get that from Doctor Who. It's not an excuse to not have it.
Yeah.
Right? That's. But sometimes, does it matter? Yeah. I don't know.
And on that note, I think we shall end it.
Yes, indeed.